Okay, everybody, the purpose of this assignment is to gather visual resources in order to come up with a collection of people that you would want to share your narrative writing with. You're going to be completing a narrative, and a narrative has a very broad definition in our process for the next 3 weeks. A narrative is simply telling a story. And so, who would you like to tell your story to? Remember back to the My Life in Seven Stories. You already categorized and brainstormed and started some of those. We're going to continue working on that during virtual class this coming week. And so this assignment focuses on who you want your audience to be. Oftentimes as writers, it helps because we have a visual and we can see that person. We know how that person would react. We know that person's perspective. We also know how our two voices can connect. And so you are creating a Jamboard that is a collage of different people's voices and authentic audiences that you want to create this writing for. The end goal and the end result would be you actually sharing this narrative writing with those people. And so I do want to set some boundaries so that you have some very clear and firm process boundaries for your process. So your person can be historical; they can be living. If you choose somebody who has died, make sure that you are using the sticky note to explain why you chose that person. For all of your people, you're going to be using the sticky note as your voice. That's your detail and explain. So let me go ahead and model this for you right now. So I have my life in seven stories. I told the one about my hair, uh, and getting my hair dyed in eighth grade. So I'm just going to simply go and add images uh, to my Jamboard. The person that I could potentially write and share this story with, because I want them to know that part of me, is let's see. I'm just going through my files here. Is my husband. So I would put a picture of us on my Jamboard, and from there, my next task is to create some stickies. I'm going to create some categories, uh, some colors that you could use. I'm going to use pink for people who I'm connected to. I'm going to use blue for people who I'm not as connected to, but I still want them to read my writing. And let me send a quick message to you. Your person does not have to be in the form of appearance. You could use text as well. I'll model that afterward, or you could draw. So let me finish with this one, and then we'll get to that. So I have my reason, and now I'm going to focus on the detail of my story that I'm going to include because of him, because of my specific audience. The explanation is the why, and the detail is the how. So, okay, so let me show you exactly what's on my screen. So, the first part, I chose my husband because sharing this story with him will make him laugh. That's my reason for choosing him. After that, I will focus on things I was telling myself. That's my detail. And then now I have another explanation. Why am I focusing on things I was telling myself? That inner dialogue in my writing when I write my draft. I'm going to focus, if I write it to him, on the things I was telling myself because he really connects to me when I share the voices in my head. That's our personal connection. So for each person that you're choosing for your audience, make sure that you have the opportunity to form a connection. So if you want to simplify this into a process, you have three C's: your choice, why did you choose that person? The second one, or sorry, let's back up. You have a choice, you have a detail, and then you have a connection. So CDC: your choice, your detail, and a connection. All of that is explained through your sentences or your explanation. Again, let's rephrase that. We have the choice. Why did you choose this person? The detail that you're going to focus on in your writing and in the story that will connect to that person. How are you going to connect to them? Let's try this one more time. Let me get another example. Um, I'm going to do a quick Google search. I want to include my favorite artist, my favorite musical, one of my favorite musical artists, Anna Chulo. She's a Latina singer. I choose her. And this is somebody I'm not connected to. So I'm going to use a different color because that's going to help my brain sort it. You don't have to do that. And I'm going to do CDC. I chose Anna because her music has inspired my journey. And now the detail in my story, I would focus on the choice between blonde hair and brunette. And here's my because she often writes about having to change who she is for other people. Remember, CDC: choice, detail, and then connection. Okay, and there's my sticky note for Anna. I'll do one more. I don't have a picture for this one, so I'm just going to come over here and use the text box feature. Another audience member that I could potentially write my story to would be my eighth grade teacher. And then we follow that process one last time. I'm going to use green because I don't really, we have a connection, but I wouldn't necessarily, I could potentially share this with her. She didn't, so I chose her. I chose Dr. Erickson because I wanted to show her how much my writing has improved. And she taught me. Okay, so now notice how every single audience member has a different reason why I would choose them. And then that is going to motivate me in my process to write my draft. So, my husband, I'm going to be able to connect with him on a different level, and I'm going to probably write in a different way to him than I would Anna. I would write in a different way from Anna to Dr. Erickson because these people have different relationships in my life. Remember, our essential question is how does telling our story lead to unity community, and connection. This is how we do it. So remember our process, CDC. So my next one is a detail. I would focus on all of the details of the moment because as my teacher, that is what she taught us. Again, CDC, choice, detail, connection. Okay. So you can see I chose her because she was my best writing teacher. She'd be a great critic for my writing. You get to choose your audience. You get to choose why you're writing to them. You get to choose the purpose. You get to choose the motivation behind your draft. You can choose multiple people. They don't have to be interpersonally connected to you. However, just bear that in mind when you make your choice. Again, our process is CDC. Your choice, explain it. Your detail, explain it. And then your connection to that person and how it will connect to your writing and explain it.